Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's not quite 7 o'clock, but it's close. It's 6 o'clock. That still means it's time for Chiefs Kingdom Live. We're going a little bit earlier today because Bo's got some holiday obligations and Nick's traveling again. He's got some
What can you do?
He's got some family stuff going on, and I'm the lone wolf. I don't have any family holiday plans going on, so we're jumping on a little bit earlier. Glad everybody could join us. We got a good episode. We're going to talk due to a spectacular win against
let's
Chargers. Pretty much ramping this division up before the turkey's even cooked in the oven for Thanksgiving this year. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about this Rams game. That's kind of an unspectacular game coming up against the Los Angeles Rams, an NFC team that is reeling. Don't know how much of a contest that's going to be. We'll break that down a little bit. So, and then we are also going to announce the winner of the TRAVIS KELCE giveaway because our man, number 87, got it done. 33 games with 100 yards receiving or more sets him alone atop the record books there for a tight end. Congratulations to Travis. The conversation about is he the greatest of all time is just getting easier and easier to make. So we'll get to that here before too long. Fellas, how are y'all feeling after that win on Sunday Night Football over the Chargers?
Is there anything better than the Victory Monday feels, right? Like walking around wearing your Chiefs shirt on Monday, just like, especially after a game like that, right? No, man, I'm doing good. To everybody that's watching, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate your guys' support. Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's tomorrow, so if you're watching this, eat lots of turkey tomorrow. I got family in town, so I got to make it abbreviated tonight, but not too abbreviated. But
right.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. I finally got to watch a game that wasn't at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I'm back in the States for this one. I'm back U.S. side, fully adjusted. Hours wise now after a couple of days I had to switch my my days and nights, turned right back around and I drove. We're down in Texas visiting some family for Thanksgiving, hit our folks up on the way back up this weekend, but just I mean, like Scott said, just kind of like wrapping up the AFC West. I mean, it's not over, right? But like for all intents and purposes, like barring anything crazy, like the
Right.
division is the Chiefs. We've got 7 games left, and we have effectively a 4-game lead on all the other teams. Just in winning that game and like taking it in spectacular fashion, shades of last year, right? Feeling on top of the world, man. I mean, it's a great time to be a Chiefs fan. So,
yeah, exactly.
It certainly is that. That game, after all the talk about how tough the division was going to be this year, and the Chiefs got rid of Tyreek Hill, and this was a retooling year, and all these teams that made these moves, the Raiders went out and got Devontae Adams. They went out and got, hey, what's up, Laney? Good to see you. They went out and they got Devontae Adams. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Good to see you, too.
What's up?
And they also got the pass rusher, Chandler Jones. Rich Eisen was eating some crow big time this week on his show, talking about his pick for the Raiders to win that division. All the talk of Russell Wilson going to the Broncos, and they were a quarterback away from really contending in the AFC West and in the AFC overall. There was people that were saying that they were a Super Bowl favorite. The Chargers, every year, they're the preseason, off-season champions of the AFC West. They brought in Khalil Mack. They were getting this guy back. They're going to be healthy this year. All the things that you hear every year. This may be the toughest division in the history of football. This division could have 3, maybe even, 4 playoff teams. People were talking about it.
The Chiefs are the worst team in the division. That one went around for a minute.
Playoffs.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to say his name, but well, I am going to say his name. Bart Scott said the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs. And 12 weeks in, they are a 99.9% chance to make the playoffs, according to a lot of these projection sites. The Chiefs are up 4 games on the Chargers, basically, because they have the tiebreaker now. With how many games are there left now? I mean,
7.
There's 7 games left. The Chiefs would have to go 3-4, and the Chargers would have to basically win out. That's not going to happen. It's over. So, barring injury, barring anything crazy happening, for the Chiefs to come out and dominate this division with all new names and faces is really just a testament to the front office and the players and the draft that they brought in. I went back and looked at some of the players they drafted in the last year or two. Bro, there are guys all over the place that are contributing in this draft. Guys like Nick Bolton. There's over and over. They go into this game without McCole Hardman. They go into this game without Juju Smith-Schuster. Oh, no big deal. Justin Watson, he's not a draft pick, but he has a career day. Sky Moore, second-round draft pick from last year, has a career day. They lose Kadarius Toney early in the game, who had been flashing. It just doesn't matter. Isaiah Pacheco steps up, has 100 yards. For this team,
not bad for a retooling year, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Not a bad team.
It's just, to me, really speaks to how good of moves the front office has made, drafts, free agents, guys they've brought in. Andy Reid and the coaching staff, we all get a little upset with him, some of the play calling sometimes, and he'll still, screw up the clock management and not call timeouts at the right time, things like that. But when it comes to just coaching and putting your players in a position to win, he's one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL at this point. And Patrick Mahomes, I'm running out of things to say about the guy. Every week we come on here and you think he can't be any better, and he is. So all the money, I think someone sitting there says, damn, the division spent $1 billion to catch the Chiefs, and it's over earlier than any point in Patrick Mahomes' career, the division race. And you look at some of the free agent signings and some of the money these teams have spent, the Chargers haven't even gotten out of Herbert's rookie contract. They're going to have to start paying him. They paid Khalil Mack all this money. They brought in J.C. Jackson, paid him a big payday. It could be a long time before any of these other teams compete. The Broncos, the picks they gave up and the cap hell they put themselves in with the contract they gave Russell Wilson.
Right.
The Raiders are the Raiders. Every year they're going to suck. They're going to get worse somehow. So, pretty mind-blowing. This game, right? I mean, I'm not being hyperbolic here, right? I'm not over the top, jumping the shark here.
No, man, not at all. I mean, that was the talk of the town, right? Chiefs are going to struggle this year without Tyreek. It's a retooling year. They got nothing but rookies. I kind of felt susceptible to thinking that was going to be our downside, was the youth of our team. Still kind of could argue that it kind of is, but dude, we're flying on all cylinders right now. Like I said, what a team for a retooling year. And it's only supposed to get better from here. Like you said, great time to be a Chiefs fan. No, I don't disagree with anything that you said. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, apparently they own part of the Chargers. They take stake in the Chargers because, man, what they do to them is unreal. That game was phenomenal. It was fascinating to watch. They've been in that position. They're down by 4. We've talked about it on the podcast. What would you rather have? The Chiefs up by 7 with 2 minutes left, or the Chiefs down by 4 with a minute or so left, right? We all agreed the latter. And that's what you got, right? And you see it on TV. They were so calm, so composed and poised. It was just fascinating. It was unreal. They didn't get down on themselves. They didn't let the situation, cause them to make more mistakes or anything. They've been in that situation plenty of times, and they pull it through. It's becoming so common. It's unreal as a Chiefs fan to kind of have that confidence, like, okay, yeah, minute and a half. Here's Patrick Mahomes. Let's do this. Yeah, the confidence that they have, it's not even funny. And speaking to the youth of the team, I think it's awesome to have the youth be in that position, be down and experience what it's like to, you know, play the whole football game and like I said, not get down on yourselves and keep your head and stay in the game. So amazing game. Nick, what'd you think?
Credit to the coaching staff, right? Where they're plugging these guys in, they're putting them in situations they've never been in before. You've got Sky Moore stepping up. We saw our man Big Brian in the comments, right, saying that Sky Moore's the biggest storyline last week's game. I'll throw it up on the screen here. You got guys like Sky Moore, Jody Fortson, Justin Watson stepping up, making big plays for us. And you really just have that feeling like you had during some of the Belichick era, where it's like it's just next man up. Like you can plug anybody in there, and they're going to be a superstar. And that's a credit to the coaching staff, and it's a huge credit to Patrick Mahomes, right? Like the big storyline that we didn't talk about from this year was the decline of Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. And, you know, that he was going to regress. He was going to step back. He didn't have that safety net. And he's only on pace for 5,500 yards, 49 touchdowns. He's tied for the most 40-plus yard pass plays in the league with 9. He has more 20-plus yard pass plays than he did in his season where he threw for 50 and 5,000, right? I mean, he is just dealing. He's just destroying the league, and it doesn't matter who you're putting at receiver. So that coupled with the fact that the coaching staff finally started watching Chiefs Kingdom live, and we're like, we're just going to put Pacheco in give him, 15, 20 carries and see what happens, right? They were reading the comments, and like, now we've got a run game, right? It's like, Happy learned how to putt, right? Like now what are you going to do? Because you can't even just like try to put your guys into pass coverage, because Pacheco was running like a man possessed. He was just punishing people during that game. Yeah. So, I mean, it's looking like a really favorable spot for the Chiefs to be in, especially at this point in the season. And it's just it's awesome, man. I mean, just credit to Patrick Mahomes, coaching staff, and then Travis Kelce, right? The guy getting 3 touchdowns, breaking Gronk's record, breaking the record basically on the play that won the game. And just, I mean, it was just I don't know. It's great. It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan. There's not enough like positive things you can say right now.
Right.
One man show nailed it. To your point, dude. Called the same play that beat him on the same pretty much the same situation last year, right? Just a nice little slant to the inside, little drag slant, and Kelce does Kelce things. Gosh, TMFK. If you guys don't know, now you do.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think who the receiver was. Did an awesome pick play where he was disciplined and enough to not actually make contact with the guy that was trying to cover Kelce coming across the field. He got in his way just enough to slow him down to give Kelce that little bit of separation, and then kind of jumped out of the way there at the last second to avoid running into him and getting the penalty. Kelce catches it, runs it in. We'll talk more about Travis Kelce in depth here in a second, but Laney's got a comment about Herbert's expression on the sideline. He was like sitting there just kind of had this look on his face, exactly like, here we go again. To me, the players were high-fiving after that touchdown, and some were on the sidelines, and they were smiling and giving each other high fives or whatever. And that scene from The Simpsons that's a meme now, or a GIF, I guess you could probably say, not a meme, a GIF, of Principal Skinner, where he's like, oh, he's like laughing, but you can tell it's like no confidence at all. It's complete nervous wreck on the inside. That's how I felt the Chargers when I was watching them celebrate that last touchdown. Because when you look at the clock, 1:36 with timeouts, that's way too much time for. I mean,
it's over.
Dude, 1:26 by itself is too much time. With timeouts, okay, let's do this.
He did it so quickly that you almost got a little bit nervous there for a second that he did it too fast and gave them too much time to maybe get into field goal range, but defense comes up with the game-winning play. Bo's guy, Nick Bolton, Chiefs King guy. I mean, everybody loves Nick Bolton. I love Nick Bolton, but Bo's been on the Nick Bolton. He's been the president of the fan club for a long time now. Outstanding play by him, not giving up on the play, coming from 20 yards away to be in position to dive and catch the deflected pass for the game-winning interception. To me, Pacheco, Chris Collinsworth hit the nail on the head after I think it was maybe his second big run, and he says, "Yeah, okay, see here now, Pacheco's running, and that's a gain of 28 yards right there, and the rest of the AFC's got to be gone." You got to be kidding me! Like now they got a running game too. That spells bad news for the rest of the teams in the AFC. With Patrick playing at an All-Pro MVP level, and to add Isaiah Pacheco in there, I was a little frustrated, not going to lie, where he gets a 30-yard run and you don't see him for like 2 drives. I was thinking, did he get hurt? Did I miss something? Is he out of the game? I don't.
Classic
breather,
Andy
maybe
Reid
because
right
he was
there.
Maybe he was tired from running all over the Chargers. I don't know.
No, man, that's classic Andy Reid.
Yeah, I think that he's a rookie, and I think that Andy Reid, he tries to dole out those carries for those guys so that they can get more used to playing like a whole game. I think that's probably more where that's coming from than really caring about giving, CEH or Pacheco or McKinnon the carries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree, but it just felt like feels like they're just clinging on to CEH. Like that was like his lad, like they threw him in there one more time. Like, okay, we can't give you any more prime opportunities right now. Like prime time. Let's go do it. And unfortunately he gets hurt. I don't know if you guys saw he got placed on IR. So I mean, that's super unfortunate. I was just kind of getting off of the scrutiny of him and really starting to enjoy the running back crew a little bit. They were super hit or miss, but it reminded me of the situation in San Francisco a little bit with Jimmy G and Trey Lance. Like with now that he got hurt and he's out of the way, like it clears up a lot of that confusion in the running back room, right? Like it's kind of clear who the two are going to be. And those guys, I'm super stoked that McKinnon and Pacheco are going to get the lion's share of the carries now.
Yeah, we've been waiting for it, and you hate to see a guy get hurt. No one on this show wants to see anybody get hurt. Be interesting to see how long he ends up being out for. IR minimum 4 games.
Right. So
you're looking at week 16 at this point. That's best case scenario for him. So we'll see. Maybe they get Rojo active for some of these games. Maybe
he's been active, but it hasn't suited up, right?
I don't know what they do there, but what's that, Bo?
He's been active, but just hasn't suited up, right? Like there's 5 or 6 players every team doesn't suit up every game, and he's been that player every game. But we'll see.
It's good to see Carol joining us. What's up, Carol? Good to see you.
Carol.
Thanks for hopping on. Yeah. So the game, first half, Chiefs look pretty sloppy though. Really, outside of Mahomes making some nice plays. And outside of Pacheco kind of imposing his will there in the running game, they kicked a couple field goals. And I'm kind of thinking, well, this is what I'm used to seeing the teams do to the Chiefs. And you think, man, they ain't going to beat the Chiefs kicking field goals. They had a couple of bad plays. The kickoff there where Pacheco caught it at the 6-yard line and then stepped out of bounds instead of just letting it go out. Really put the defense in a bad spot.
Yeah.
You're looking at, Chargers put up 20 points in the first half, and the defense was reeling at times, was really kind of getting beat up, and the Chargers were moving the ball really well on the defense. So first half.
Yeah, they scored in 3 plays or something like that, or 4 plays.
Right. Right, and you're looking at the score, and it's 17. Chargers got 17. What was it, 17-13 at that point? I want to say. And then they get another possession, and they're down there, and they're at the goal line. You're thinking, if they score a touchdown here, and then they get the second half kickoff and move the ball the way they have and score another touchdown, you could be looking at 31-13 very quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
And started getting a little nervous there, but the defense stepped up, made a great play to stuff Eckler there at the goal line, lost some yards, hold them to a field goal. The Chargers get the ball to start the second half. They're forced to, they don't go out, they don't score a touchdown. Chiefs stay within striking distance, and then it was pretty much all she wrote from there. I mean, I know the Chargers came down and got that late score to take the lead, but the Chiefs, they got the lead back. And then, like we talked about there at the end of the game, where you knew that they left him too much time. So,
oops, clicking buttons over here. Don't mind me.
I don't know any particular player or anything stand out from the game to you guys. I know I like that pass that Mahomes made to Jody Fortson was insane. Like, bro, when you watch that play from that back camera behind the quarterback, you can't even see Jody Fortson behind the defender when he throws the ball. Like,
yeah, the fact that he saw it enough to like catch it too, right? Because there's got to be that gap where you don't see it between the defender and your hands, and you just catch it. Oh man, put it in that bucket so perfectly. Defender had no clue it was there. Couldn't place it any better.
Right. How are you feeling? So, how are you guys feeling at halftime, Nick?
I'm not gonna lie, I was frustrated with our defensive outing. Right, the offense. Yeah. I mean, you could sit there and say that they left some opportunities on the field, but you're on the road. You put up 13 points in the first half. I mean, you're on pace to score 26. That's a decent start to a game. But when your defense is on pace to give up 40, it's tough. It's tough to stomach, right? So I was still feeling optimistic. I never felt at any point in this game like we were going to lose, right? I just never had that feeling like where I was worried about losing this game, even when the Chargers took that lead at the end. But it was just more just like a frustration with, you see some of these other defenses that the Chargers have played really kind of keep them in check. And they just seem to just match up really well against us. So, I was still thinking we were going to win, but it was just kind of that frustration of the defense kind of, shit in the bed in the first half and giving up 20 points.
Yeah, we were texting each other during the game like, this defense has got to step it up. And I'd kind of make the argument that they did, right? Like, I would agree with what both you guys said. I mean, they started off so sloppy, but man, did they come through when they needed to. I think they had 5 sacks on the day. They held them to field goals. You know what I mean? When you can hold any drive to a field goal, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like trying to stop like Herbert and Allen is like trying to stop like Mahomes and Kelsey, right? Like they just make good football plays, and they did. And that there was some blown coverage on our end too. But it is what it is. I really feel like the defense was the standout for me, even though they started off so bad. Just putting the pressure to Herbert.
That's the most he'd ever been sacked in his career, right?
I believe so. So, yeah. Nick Bolton just running around the field like a maniac. I've been on the Nick Bolton fan, I feel like, since day one. Dude just crushes it. He's just one of the most athletic defensive players I've ever seen. Just always wants to be a part of every play, which you can't say about most people on defense in the NFL. If the ball goes left, like, oh, there they go. And you see them kind of walking with their hands on their hips. That guy's like, nope, I'm catching up. Like, I love his tenacity. Can't say enough good things about that guy. But yeah, and then I think Karlaftis got another bat. We saw a bunch of other sacks from other guys on the line. Defense stepped up when it mattered. So that was my standout.
Scotty, you said, was there one play that stood out to you? There was a play where, Justin Herbert was basically trying to take advantage of the coverage and go for like what looked like a QB draw, but it wasn't I don't think that was the play call. And Chris Jones just shoves the lineman to the side and then like sacks
Bear hugs him.
Bear hugs him. And
like,
just when you watch that play, like to take like another 300-pound man and just basically like wash him to the side like he's nothing.
Yeah.
When he's got the leverage on you in that position, and then to tackle Justin Herbert, who is a big dude himself, that was a play that really stood out, because if he doesn't tackle Herbert there, that's a huge gain for the Chargers. So
yeah,
that was just, not only was it a clutch play, but like the athleticism of what he did there really stood out. I mean, aside from the Mahomes things and the Kelce things. So
yeah, they Chris Jones, 3 sacks in that game. The dude he's in the defensive player of the year discussion right now with the way that guy is playing.
Yeah,
he is just crushing games, just taking games over at the defensive line position. Glad to see Brenda's joined us. Hello, Brenda. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your evening. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Chris Jones out there making plays. Yeah, that blown coverage where the Chargers got the bomb early in the game, the first touchdown that they scored there. I think I texted you guys. I was like, nice, all-out blitz that doesn't get there, and they blew coverage. Like, that's hard to do all in one play. So
nailed it.
Kudos to the defense. And Brenda brought up Nick Bolton, and we kind of talked about them. They only gave up 7 points in the second half.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that gave the offense a chance to go down and score points, keep them in the game. That stop was so critical there at the end of the first half, where they could have got a touchdown there, and you go up like 24-13. You're not feeling very good. Like 20-13 feels a lot better, especially since they're getting the ball. They kind of dug themselves a hole there in the first half with penalties. The Nick Bolton penalty where he pushed Herbert it was a bang play, but his foot was on the white when he pushed him, man. He tried to let up.
Okay.
But to me, like, if you can let up or not push the guy that hard, like, you could probably not push him at all.
The penalty is called unnecessary roughness, right? How many quarterbacks have we seen not have their foot on the line and try to jump up for 2 or 3 more yards, right? Did he hit the guy? Did he even hit him with a shoulder pad? No, he said, yeah, with 2 hands, just, yeah. And, put him off his balance. You're running full speed. Yeah. Like, it's kind of hard to stay upright.
As soon as it happened, though, I knew it was a penalty.
I did too, but like, it just, to me, it just didn't seem like what the play is. I don't know, or what the penalty is. Excuse me. I mean,
it's bullshit. I knew it was a penalty. I knew it was going to be a penalty. Like, I think it's bullshit.
But look, dude, looking at some of the hits Mahomes took, mere seconds after, like, he got rid of it, like 2-3 seconds after the fact. Compared to that, like, it was just like, come on, what are we calling here?
Yeah, and to be honest, what he should have done is he should have just lowered his helmet and hit him in the face mask with kind of knocked him unconscious, because we all know that's not a penalty. Ridiculous. So who knows what we're going to do there, but with the referees, pretty crazy. We're coming down the stretch here. We got the division. Looks like maybe you guys froze up or something there for a second, so thought I lost connection there. But Travis Kelce, the play, I mean, the game-winning touchdown, everybody's going to talk about that, right? But dude, I want to say it was his first touchdown he scored, where he caught the ball kind of along the hash mark. Or no, I'm sorry. That would have been the second one. The first one where he high-stepped into the end zone was just one of those plays that's too easy, right? Yeah. But the second one where he caught the ball along the hash mark and kind of jukes a defender and then gets to the sideline, another defender tries to tackle him, and he kind of just like jumps over him and runs it into the end zone. That guy is, when he gets the ball in the open field, he doesn't look that fast, right? He doesn't look that agile because he's so big. But dude, he just made people look silly. That play, that touchdown, that second one he scored was just unreal. You guys talk about Travis Kelce for a second here. Bo, what did you see out of 87?
That guy's football brain is bigger than most on any field any given day. He's unguardable. It fascinates me how open he gets, and like Patrick Mahomes is gonna go to him. Like it just blows me away how good that guy is. And I kind of had a feeling he was gonna have a day. His first catch, I mean, he got tackled kind of after the fact, but he still got like 5 or 6 yards while the guy was dragging him down. But you could just see like, all right, he's got the fight in him today. And then from then on out, it was 5 yards after the catch, 12 yards after the catch, and you're just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have this giveaway, that's for sure. This week it's gonna happen. And I was not expecting the highlight reel that he was gonna have. I was playing against the guy who had him in fantasy, so that was a bit of a nail biter. Ended up coming through though, but yeah, can't say enough good things about that guy. Like I'm so thankful he's on our team. Like you said, making the case for greatest tight end of all time, setting records left and right. Was watching his podcast and he's funny. He's like, I don't really care about the records. I just kind of care about wins. And that's the bigger stat to me. But when he looks back, dude, he's gonna like the fact that he's gonna have most of these records.
Yeah.
I know things. You know.
Yeah, he's humble in that way. But yeah, dude's a dog. He's so good.
Here's a stat that I sent to you guys. I know in our private text thread, but Travis Kelce needs just 139 yards over his next 39 games to become the fastest tight end in NFL history to 10,000 receiving yards.
Over his next 39 games?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I didn't misread that. 39 games. He needs 139 yards. I think he's
going to get that.
There's a chance he can get that. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact too that he just crushes the Chargers. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a guy who used to like torture the Chiefs like that, and you're just like, bro, just stop that one guy. Put 3 guys on him. I don't care how you do it.
Let somebody else have a day. Like, why would
Right.
As a Chargers fan, how frustrating does that have to be? To just watch the same guy beat you over and over and over every year, twice. I mean, he crushes you
in the same manner, right? Not like, oh man, they got us again. Like gotcha again. Fool me once, right? Fool me twice.
Nick, how do you think that feels as a Chargers fan? Is there anybody you can remember? I was trying to think. I remember there was somebody who would always burn the Chiefs. I can't think of his name.
I mean, Shannon Sharp always had big games against us, it seemed, right?
Yeah, he did.
Like
with Broncos.
I mean, yeah, quarterbacks, yes. John Elway was always the one that would like do exactly to us what we've been doing to the Chargers the last few years. Just like we're like always like, dude, we got him this time, and then it's like, nah, you don't got him. He's still gonna win. I think we went over a decade where we did
Geico commercial. Here's $1. Oh,
yeah,
almost had it.
Right, almost had it. But I mean, I can't really think of one player that really just like. And the funny thing is like Travis Kelce, he does this to the Chargers. He does it to the Raiders. Like, I mean, he just like it's just I don't know. Is there any debate that he's the best, at least pass catching tight end in history anymore?
No. Well, you can, and you just take the pass catching thing off, man. Like Brenda had a comment about blocks. Who fucking cares about blocks? Like the guy blocks enough. Okay, you can go out there and find highlights of him pancaking guys, but I mean, you know who blocking tight ends are? Guys that are in the league for 2 seasons, and you never know who they are because blocking is really not that difficult. What's difficult is getting 8 catches for 113 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game winner. That's what's difficult. Someone put a highlight thing too of Gronk out there and says, some of y'all really be saying Kelce the best, LOL. And it's a highlight reel of Gronk, and it's just like some of the worst tackling I've ever seen in my entire life. There's like one guy in one play, he's got his like arms around his waist trying to bring him down, and the other defenders are standing there like watching, not even trying to help him, and he wiggles free from one tackle and scores a touchdown because the rest of the defense was standing around with their hands in their pockets watching. I was like, that's a bad defense highlight film. That's not really like all that great a play by Gronk. Not to take away from Gronk saying he wasn't good. He was good, but this idea that he was better, I don't see it.
Well, it's fascinating to me because like they always just bring up blocking, right? And so like, where is it written in the rules that a tight end has to be the best blocker to be effective, right? Like I know it helps, like it definitely helps, especially in the run game, to have a tight end who can block. But like when you have, he's clearly one of the most effective players, not just tight ends in the game. Like he stacks up against wide receivers. He's like the leading touchdown scorer. Like what are we talking about here? Like like I agree with what you're saying. Like you want to see what run block or blocking tight ends get you. It gets you like hurt Gronks. Remember how injury prone Gronk was from trying to like defend Ray Lewis's and Brian Urlacher's and stuff? Like that'll get you messed up real quick. And like I hate to say longevity is probably a goal of most of these players now. And yeah, I'm happy with what Kelsey's doing.
Right. Our guy George Brittle on the 49ers. Same thing. Guy's hurt all the time. Great blocker. But I don't remember where in the rule book. I don't remember in the rule book where it says if you make 5 really good blocks in a game, you get a touchdown. Like you don't. That's not the way that works. So, Travis Kelce.
That's definitely it.
And we are going to do our giveaway here. We're going to do it at the end of the show. We got started a little bit earlier tonight. We usually get started at 7, but we got started at 6. So we're going to wrap up by the time we normally start. Maybe we'll get some more folks in here, and we'll announce the winner of the giveaway. It's a pretty sweet giveaway if I don't say so myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super jealous, dude. That Christmas ornament, I'm just like, that could go on my tree. That's really
nice. Well, maybe we need to get one shipped down to you for your stocking there, Bo. I'll have to see what we can do about that. But
maybe Santa Claus will hook you up this year.
Right.
Awesome.
Other individual performers, anybody you guys want to talk about from the game? Talked about Chris Jones. We talked about Travis Kelce, Pacheco.
Sky Moore stepping up, right? He not only did he have multiple catches, right? I think he had 5 catches, but he had some clutch catches. That third down catch where there was no question, right? It was like there's no need to even review it.
Right.
That was
the nose of the ball is touching the ground, but is it moving? None of that shit.
Like and that's exactly what people were talking about with him coming out of the draft was that, I mean, he had really good hands. We haven't seen it in the punt return game so much this year, but hey, he even was returning kicks with some people getting injured, Tony getting injured, and he did all right on returning kicks. No turnovers. As long as we don't turn over, I don't really give a shit if you get return yards or not. Just catch the ball. But just him coming through, I mean, that's a rookie that's having to step up. What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry. Brenda's comments killing me here about if you need someone to block. I don't know if you can bring that up or not. Exactly. Like, there's lots of players that can block. Wide receivers can block. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I was distracting you.
No, that's okay.
It's so funny. Like, Brenda.
Nick was on one, man.
Brenda coming with the facts, bringing the heat here on tight ends and blocking and how of little importance that is really for a tight end. But
I just love how that's like the definitive stat on whether or not you're the greatest of all time tight end. Like, okay.
I was poking the bear a little bit when I threw in pass catching tight end. I was provoking a response. I hoped
it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You got me.
So Pacheco we already talked about. He did have a disappointing special teams play where really easily could have just put his foot out of bounds and got us the ball at the 40-yard line. That I think comes more down to coaching than Pacheco. Sky Moore, right? I mean, a great individual performance from a rookie. It's good to see him starting to develop in the offense. Him and Tony over the next few years looks like the Chiefs wide receiving corps is in good hands. So,
wide receivers are looking good.
Real quick, I wanted to get your guys' take on, because like I'm a little concerned about how banged up we got this game. Obviously, we had some players out beforehand, like Juju and Hardman already. Tony goes out, CEH goes out. who else? Thornhill kind of left the game with something with his calf. Jalen Watson got hurt.
Yeah.
It's that time of season, right, where we're getting beat up a little bit. I mean, not in the win column or loss column by any means, but you go week to week, you take punishment, and it's not like you get better just because of 4 days pass. Like, I'm sure you guys have all been injured. It takes some time to heal. How beat up do you guys think we are at this point? Do you think we're going to be all right, stave off some injuries as it gets later in the season? Like, it's happening. It's that time of year. Scott?
Yeah, you never want to see injuries because they start to pile up, especially if you have a couple rough stretches there where you get 2-3 guys per game knocked out, and now you're really testing the depths of your roster. But I feel like the Clyde injury, I thought he was the worst running back on the team. So to me, that almost helps them move on, like Nick said, maybe from Clyde, or at least for the next 4 or 5 games until he comes back. You don't feel that pressure to put the first-round guy in there ahead of the 7th-round rookie. And again, if you ever needed more evidence of why it's a bad idea to draft running backs in the first, 3 or 4 rounds of the NFL draft, this is a case in point. Like, this is your case study right here. You can get a guy like Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round, and he looks 10 times better than the guy you reached for in the 1st round. But the injuries, Jalen Watson, you hate to see that. Thornhill, guys in the secondary, you've already kind of thin there with younger players anyway. It definitely is something to keep an eye on. I did see that Juju is coming back. Hopefully, he was back to practice today, so
Yeah,
that's a good sign. That's a real good sign for him. Glad to see he's doing okay, man. When you see someone get knocked out, just KO'd, right? He was out on the field, man. That's a scary situation. But Thornhill, these tissue injuries, sometimes they can take a while to heal up. But I feel like with the medicine and the training staff, especially that this team has, like strained calf muscles or a pulled hamstring or something, I feel like those are things that you can take care of relatively quickly. As long as you're not needing surgery and you're out the rest of the year, if you can get some guys, you miss 2, 3, 4 games going down the stretch here, but you can get them back and get them in game shape for the playoffs. This team's going to the playoffs, and they're going to host a playoff game, hopefully get a bye week. We'll talk about that here in a second before we move on to the Rams game. I'd like to get your guys' idea on that. And I know we're running short on time this evening, but yeah, injuries are a little bit of a concern, but I'm not overly concerned with them at this point.
Okay. I was just concerned. I was really high on Tony. I liked what he was bringing to the team. I liked his energy. That weird crackback blocking call, I think that's the only time that penalty's been called in the last 3 years, 4 years or something like that. Something ridiculous. Of course.
That's a point.
It's such a Chiefs penalty to get called against us.
Right. They dug so deep into the rule book, hey, watch out for this one because it might happen. But
that's a point spread penalty is what that is right there. And you never convinced me otherwise.
Right. But I was just, like I said, I was just a little disappointed to see him go off.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was just thinking about the receiver situation. Nick, what's your take on all these injuries? You think we're good?
I think that this game proved that we're okay. I mean, the defensive injuries concern me more than the offensive injuries, just because, as long as the injury is not to number 15, you can plug anybody in there and he's gonna get him the ball. I mean, he's throwing the ball to 9 different people a game. It doesn't you could Bo could probably get 3 for 30. If
that one play where he hit Travis Kelce, Kelce didn't look back in time and he literally just hit him, hit him with the ball. Hey man,
always be looking for the ball, bro. You never know when it's gonna come. So, I mean, obviously, you don't want to see it. Do I feel like we're in a bad spot? I mean, not necessarily. I felt more like we're in a bad spot before that game. I was a little worried going in without 2 of our top guys, especially with the season that Juju's had. Obviously you don't want to see Tony go out, but he already had a nagging hamstring thing when we picked him up. So we kind of should have expected that maybe, he wasn't 100%. But I don't know. I mean, that's just part of the game, right? It's like you just got to deal with the injuries, and you got to put your best foot forward. The good news on the other side of the offense is that now we've got an emerging running back that looks like he can put up 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. Going to take some of the pressure off of that passing offense, right? I mean,
Yeah, he looks so good.
our receivers are hurt, so
yeah. Real quick before I know we got a little bit of time left here. Chiefs, I mean, they've got the division as close to over as you can be without it officially being over, wrapped up in the bag. Chiefs right now are the 1 seed. There's a freaking slew of other AFC teams, though, that are sitting there at like 1 game behind the Chiefs in the AFC, some of which we have the tiebreakers over, some of which we don't. What do you guys, how you feeling for a 1 seed in the bye after this game against the Chargers? Now that, like I said, they got the division all but wrapped up. What percentage chance do you think the Chiefs are right now at getting that 1 seed? And how many more losses do you think they can have to still wrap that thing up, Bo?
Ooh, that's a great question, man. Well, it's in our own hands, right? We're driving our own destiny truck here. I'm always nervous about a divisional game, and like I don't know why. I think the Raiders are going to give us a little bit of a struggle when we play them again. I don't see the Broncos doing anything magical that we can't handle, especially at this point in the season now with so much tape and Russell Wilson looking the way Russell Wilson's looking and everything like that. As far as the amount of losses we can sustain to do that, I mean, with what you were saying with those teams just right on our heels, maybe 2. Maybe we could drop 2 games, but that probably puts us in some weird playoff math where you got to go down to some tiebreakers or it just starts getting funky. I'd like to see us win out. I think it's completely possible. But the 2 games that I can kind of see us giving us some trouble are the Bengals and the Raiders. So what about you, Nick?
Yeah, I think we maybe can lose 1 game. If we lose 2 games, we're not going to be the 1 seed. I don't think the Bills are going to lose 2 more games. Maybe they will. But, I mean, they've got the tiebreaker over us for the 1 seed. So unless you think that they're going to lose 2 more for the rest of the season, which I don't particularly think they will, the Dolphins also are a strong team. I don't think Tua has lost a game as a starter. So I think you can lose 1 more game and probably get the 1 seed. But the only for sure thing is that if you went out, you got it. So let's focus on what we can do to do that, I guess, right?
Yeah, so what percentage chance are you guys putting it at getting the 1?
Ooh, I like it, dude. Oh, I'm way more optimistic. I'm thinking like 80s, low 90s. Yeah. I think we got it. It's like I said, it's in our hands. I think our players are well aware of it. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm liking that 70% range. I don't know if I'm quite 75%, but yeah, I don't. I mean, I think 1 more loss. I think the Bills have another loss in them, so I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna have to 1 more, but I don't see any way. I mean, I know the Raiders played us tough here this last game, but really we've kind of dominated them. They'll be out of it. They won't really have much to play for at that point. Maybe to play spoiler for us would be some motivation for them, but I don't see the Chiefs losing to the Raiders with the 1 seed on the line at the end of the season. The Bengals game maybe is a little bit scary, or maybe even like, I don't know, one of these divisions. It's just so hard to sweep the division. So maybe the Broncos could jump up with that defense and stifle us, and you get a weird couple bounces, and you lose the turnover battle, and you make dumb special teams decisions that hurt you, and you have another Colts-like game where you lose a team you have no business losing to. But the Chiefs are going to be favored in the rest of their games. They just need to win them. They just need to win
this game by a ridiculous 14.5 points.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if in a retooling year with the schedule the Chiefs played this season, if they go 15-2, bro, like that's going to be damn impressive.
Yeah.
If this team can finish this 15-2 with that schedule. I know the schedule doesn't look as hard as it did at the beginning of the year, but it's still not an easy schedule. There's a lot of playoff teams that the Chiefs have played this year. I mean, they just smoked the 49ers, and the 49ers look like maybe they're like one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NFC. Although they've beat up on some bad teams here recently. They don't really have any signature against really, really good teams. But
hey, Scott, we're running up against it. Can we do the drawing? And I don't know that I'll be able to talk much Rams. I only got like 5 minutes before I got to head out. So.
Yeah. I mean, you can jump out whenever you want. I don't know how big a hurry Bo's in.
I'm in the same boat. I got a dinner reservation. Unfortunately, got some family in town. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Nature of Thanksgiving. But
yeah,
we can quick fire this. We can quick fire it and still make it good.
Yeah. So the winner was our guy John C., who I don't see in here tonight, but we started earlier, so I was trying to wait until we got right up there till 7:00. So we'll have to see our guy John C. We'll have to figure out some way to get in contact with him. Maybe he jumps on here as we get closer to the 7:00 hour. Maybe he doesn't. Try to get his contact info. Or we'll shoot him our email address. But he's the winner.
Hey, congratulations, sir. You got some cool swag that I am completely jealous of. That's for sure.
Yeah. Came together good. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to figure out another giveaway here. Maybe we can get to like 2,500 followers on Twitter, or maybe if we can get this channel up to 250 subscribers or something like that. Really appreciate everybody that watches. Really appreciate everybody that subscribes, everybody that sends us comments. Real quick, you guys, we got a couple minutes before you bounce out of here. But Rams, let's get some score predictions going for the Rams before we jump out.
I'm going to go Chiefs 34, Rams 17.
A beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a good chance Matt Stafford's not even going to play, right?
Yeah, he's ruled out.
He's ruled out.
Sure. Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, their
whole O-line is battered. They got remnants of a defense that once was.
Well, at least they don't have any draft picks for the next 10 years.
Hey, there's that too, right?
Sorry, Daniel. I know our guy Daniel's in the comments. He's a Rams fan.
I'm getting my my Venmo account ready, primed to buy all these viewers burgers. I'm ready for it. Last time we played the Rams, 51-54, right? Like, such a bitter defeat, such a great game though. He's predicting a shutout. So yeah, okay, I feel good about my 50 burger now, right? Like, the Rams fans predicting a shutout. I like it. But yeah, I could see us kind of taking this game away. We're in stride. We're looking great. Rams not looking so great. So I got Chiefs 51, Rams 27 with some garbage time, 28 with some garbage time stuff.
Getting crazy. Bo's getting crazy. I think the Rams can still play a little bit of defense. So I don't know that we're going to get quite into those 50s, but I definitely think we're scoring 30-something. So I'm going to go 33-17 Chiefs.
I still hope I get to open up next podcast with like an In-N-Out burger or something.
After spending 2 weeks in India, like, a burger sounds pretty good. They don't do beef over there, so
no, they don't. But yeah, again, John C's our winner. We're gonna get hooked up with him. We'll get in touch with him sometime in the next week or two. The prize pack's not going anywhere. Thanks again, everybody who subscribes, everybody who follows us on Twitter, sends us a comment. We got our guy, One Man Show, Brenda, Daniel. Good to see you in here, man. Yes, maybe we can get Daniel on the show for a recap next week's episode. We were wanting to get him on to kind of give us a breakdown of his team, but then with the way schedules fell and guys being a little busy and having a shorter, abbreviated show here, didn't quite have time for a guest. But maybe we can get you on next week, Daniel, and you can talk about the game when we break it down. If you haven't clicked subscribe yet, or if you haven't clicked that like, you might be getting in on the next giveaway. We're going to get one in the works. We're going to get one going. Head over to our social media too. We're there. We're Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Chiefs Kingdom Live. Everybody, enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Have a safe, happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you eat plenty of food, whatever it is, ham, turkey, whatever it is your family does and friends do on the Thanksgiving holiday. One of the better holidays for me. I really enjoy it. So Chiefs are in first place. They've all got the division wrapped up. We're coming down the stretch here. The 1 seed's in play, playoff positioning. It's going to be exciting. Noon game at home against the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. We'll be back.
Are you going to the game, Scott? Are you going to go? Are you going to go to the game?
No, I'm going to be out of town this weekend.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Heading to the folks' house. But I'm planning on being at that Seahawks game Christmas Eve. That's looking like going to be a pretty good game. So Chiefs, Rams, noon. Take care of business. Just keep stacking these wins. Keep getting closer and closer to getting that 1 seed, that home field advantage.
Let's go.
I'm enjoying these AFC Championship games at home. So let's get another one of those.
Arrowhead Invitational, baby.
Right. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7 with another episode of CKL. And until then, let's go Chiefs!
Go Chiefs!